Well, well, hello and a very good morning, a very good afternoon, and a very good evening based on the time in which you'll be watching this video. I'm hoping that every one of you is doing fine, and along with the members of your family, they are also doing fine. I'm hoping that you all are making use of the time and doing something productive with the time which you've got. Now, moving forward, in the previous video lecture, excuse me, okay, so I'm not corona afflicted, so moving forward, in the previous video lecture, we were talking about intense nationalism and imperialism as causes which did lead to the start of the First World War. Now, when we are talking of the Europe or the European condition during the first few years of the 20th century, that is from the 1900s or just before that, Europe was actually, there was no democracy as such in most of the countries. Democracy was there in England, and most of the other countries were run by or were monarchies. And there were a few kingdoms which were important. They were the Germans, or we had the German kingdom or the Reich. Then we had the Habsburg Empire. Habsburg Empire is particularly important when discussing the First World War. Habsburg Empire made up, or it was also called the Austro-Hungarian Empire or the Austrian-Hungarian Empire. Hungary, they together made up this empire, the Habsburg Empire. And Habsburg Empire was much important. Why? Because Habsburg Empire was on the decline during the first few years of the 20th century, and along with that, the Habsburg Empire had people of many nationalities. There were people of, there were Montenegrins, there were Serbians, there were the Croats, there were many, there were the Germans. So the Habsburg Empire had people from so many different nationalities. And this was one bone of contention, or this was one reason why there was a tension between the Serbians and the Habsburg Empire. When we talk of the Habsburg Empire, the Serbians made up a huge population of the Habsburg Empire. Serbians, the people who speak, or the Serbian population, the people who are speaking that language, the Serbs, those are the Serbians, or people of Serbia, they are called the Serbians. Now, when we are talking of the Serbs made up a huge amount of population, or a huge population. They formed a huge population of the Habsburg Empire. And just like any other people belonging to a nationality and being subdued or being ruled over by people of a different nationality, you will be wanting, suppose you are a person of some nationality, or suppose you are the same way as we Indians wanted to get away from the rule of the Britishers. Why? Because we Indians, we were people of a different nationality, and we were wanting to get rid of, or we were wanting to be rid of the foreign rule. Same way, or in a similar way, the Serbs were wanting to get rid of the rule of the Habsburg Empire, and that is why they were looking towards their mother country, Serbia, so as to do something for that. Now, we'll be coming to this later. There were a few things which are also to be blamed for the start of the First World War. We can come to or when we talk of the immediate reason is just a reason or just a pretext so as to start the war. But the events which lead to a war can happen over so many different years, so many different or previous decades. Now, there was another thing which happened. There was, or in the first few years of the 20th century, Europe got divided into two armed camps. Suppose you are in a class, or in your classroom, the classroom gets divided into two groups, and both the groups are hostile to each other, both the groups are suspicious of each other, and both the groups want to put each other down. If that is the case and that is the situation, then you should be sure, or then you would know that there will come a time, or there will come a situation when both these groups will come to a war, or there will be some kind of a friction between these two groups which may culminate to a war. This thing happened with Europe. Europe in the first few years of the 20th century got divided into two armed camps. One was the Triple Alliance. The Triple Alliance consisted of Germany, Austria-Hungary and Italy. Italy was a part of the Triple Alliance, but then after the start of the First World War, Italy moved towards the side of Britain and France. We'll be coming to that later. Now, first grouping was the Triple Alliance. This is particularly important, the Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente. The Triple Entente consisted of France, Russia and Great Britain or England. Now, these, when the moment Europe got divided into two armed camps, war became inevitable at some point of time in the future. Now, there was an intense armament race. As I was talking of imperialism and also I was talking of nationalism, when one country becomes too proud of its own nationality, or when the people of some country become too proud of its nationality, what actually happens is that they will be wanting to put the other country or put other countries down. Now, so as to do that, one way is economic and the other way is military. Now, that time England was an economic power, Germany was the economic power. France did not have much natural or raw materials with it, nor was it blessed with natural resources. France till this day is a more or less more of a agricultural country, and Russia was far away, or Russia was just catching up on the industrial revolution. So there were two main contenders, or there were two main contenders to the throne or to the leadership of Europe. That was England and Germany. And both of them became suspicious of each other and both wanted to put each other down. And thus started the arms race or the armaments race. When one country starts producing arms, the other country, just so as to be on the safer side or to feel safe, starts producing arms in a much more or in a much greater number than the first country. And when the second country is increasing its armament production, automatically the first country will also increase its armament production. There is no stop to this actually. There is no stop to this arms race. One country makes 100 weapons, the other will be making 200. So as to catch up on the 200 weapons, the first country will now be making 400 weapons. And this way the competition just keeps on. And when this kind of an armament race started between Germany and England, the other countries also started feeling afraid. And the other neighboring countries, they also started ramping up on their armament production or arms production. And thus all of the continent of Europe came under this armament race, or an armament race started in the entire continent of Europe. Now coming to the armament race, there was one thing which, or previously there were no battleships as such, but one battleship was designed, the Dreadnought battleship. And this Dreadnought battleship was designed by the Germans. And after the Dreadnought battleship got designed by the Germans, the British also started designing the Dreadnought battleship. And this Dreadnought battleship was, it did not have any precedent. It was a very new and a very huge battleship. And the Germans started digging the Kiel Canal deeper so as to allow for this battleship to enter the waters of Germany, or the ocean waters, or enter the ports of Germany. Now, there were also other arms and ammunitions which were being produced. Now this kind of a situation will some time or the other, or this intense arm race will also at some point or the other cause some kind of a conflict and lead to a war, and that is what happened. Now when we talk of arms race, when we are talking of the imperialism, when we are talking of intense nationalism, we should also keep in mind that the division of Europe into two groups, the Triple Alliance and the Triple Entente, that was also a very important reason for the start of this First World War. But now when we are talking of nationalism, let us just go back to nationalism, and also while we were talking of the Habsburg Empire, this Serbian nationalism was one of the very main reason why we had this war, the First World War. What actually happened was there was something called the Bosnian crisis in 1909. This Bosnian crisis, well, Bosnia was a country, and Bosnia was a neighbor of both the Habsburg Empire and the Serbian Empire. The Bosnian territory was being controlled by the Turkish Empire at that time. Now, due to some problems going on, or due to a different kind of a revolution going on in Turkey, the Turkish people were not much concerned about Bosnia. And taking this or seeing this as an opportunity, the Habsburg Empire captured Bosnia and brought it into its own territory. This became a serious problem, or this was a serious blow to the wishes of Serbian nationalism. Why? Because Bosnia was having a huge population, nearly 3 million Serbians, and Serbia wanted Bosnia, or Serbia wanted to add Bosnia to its own territory. When Serbia could not do this, Serbia looked towards Russia. Now the Russians and the Serbs, they are, you can talk of them as cousins as such. Now the Russians were at that time not prepared for a war, but Austria got full support of Germany, and this was a very very important reason why why 5 years later we had a war, the First World War, or the First World War started. As Russia could not support, or as Russia could not help out Serbia, its cousin. Why? Because it was not ready or prepared for a war at that time. Russia made up its mind that in future, if Serbia again asks for help, it will be ready so as to help Serbia. And a situation or a situation like this did arise after 5 years. What actually happened was the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, he was on a visit to the capital of to Bosnia, to the Bosnian capital of Sarajevo, and the people of or the Bosnians were not very happy with the occupation, or with the control which the Habsburg Empire was having on Bosnia. So the Bosnian people, who were mainly the Serbs, were wanting to come out of the Habsburg Empire and get attached to the Serbian Empire or to the Serbs. Now the Serbian government was actually helping out the Bosnian freedom fighters as such, and Bosnian secret societies, so as to cause problems inside the territory of Bosnia, and so as to prove that the Austria-Hungarian Empire or the Habsburg Empire is unable to control or is unable to govern Bosnia. Now what happened was the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, who was the crown prince of Austria, that means he was to become the next king of the Habsburg Empire, he was on a visit to the Bosnian capital of Sarajevo with his wife. And although he knew that the conditions in Bosnia were not favorable for such a visit, he still visited Bosnia, and the route plan of his visit was published in the newspapers much before his visit. Now this, was it accidental or was it intentional? That is something which we can debate upon. But then that as the route of his visit was published in the newspapers, what happened was, in the route, or somewhere along the route, were standing gunmen and the bombers, who actually there were two failed attempts first, and after that there was a successful attempt at killing the Archduke Franz Ferdinand. Now after Franz Ferdinand was shot, he was shot by a person named Gavril Princip, who was a Bosnian national, but he did have some kind of a connection with the Black Hand Society of Serbia. Now this killing of the Archduke Franz Ferdinand, suppose a person kills, or someone belonging to a nationality kills the next or the upcoming prince or the king of a country, what happens to those countrymen? They will become mad, or they will get mad at the person who has killed their prince or their crown prince or their future king. Now this was what happened then. Serbia was accused of killing the crown prince Franz Ferdinand, and Austrian-Hungarian Empire, the Habsburg Empire, became angry. The Austrians gave a 14-point ultimatum to the Bosnians and the Serbs. The Serbian government accepted most of the points, but something had happened before that. When Austria decided to attack, or when Austria decided that it was to pin all the blame on Serbia, Germany gave Austria a blank check of sorts. A blank check meaning that Germany gave the Habsburg Empire or Austria free hand to do anything it wanted, and Germany was to support Austria in whatever it did. this was a very important thing which should be kept in mind. Why? Because this, had not Germany given the assurance to Austria that Germany is with Austria whatever happens, then what would have, then maybe Austria would not have attacked Serbia, but then Germany gave that blank check to Austria, and Austria from a very long time was planning on attacking Serbia. Why? Because Austria was wanting to end this Serbian nationalism once and for all, and Austria was wanting a preventive war as such. Preventive war meaning that you attack when you are strong, so that the other person does not get an opportunity to become strong. That is what is called a preventive attack. So Austria wanted this preventive attack on Serbia, so as to kill the Serbian nationalism once and for all, and so as to stay in peace. Germany gave the backing to Austria, and as you remember, during the Bosnian crisis, Russia was not able to help Serbia. So this time Russia told Serbia that okay, I am with you, and that is why Serbia also got the go ahead from Russia to start the war, and thus started the war. Austrian troops entered Serbia, and that time, when this happened, the Russians started mobilizing their troops. Mobilizing meaning moving their troops from the western side towards the eastern front of Germany and the Austrian Empire. As the Russian troops started moving towards the Austrian side, Germany gave an ultimatum to Russia, asking Russia to remove its troops back to its own, to the western side, and remove its troops back from the eastern front. Russia did not listen to this, and Germany declared war on Russia because of this. Russia declared war on Germany, Germany declared war on Serbia, and Serbia declared war on Austria and Germany. Later on, the other countries also came into the grouping. How and why will be discussed in the upcoming lectures. Till this point, I hope everything was clear. Please go through different videos, please go through different articles, books, also different archives, files of those times, so as to understand the World War. Why? Because the World War which happened, the First World War and the Second World War, has more or less shaped the world we live in right now. So these two world wars were particularly important in shaping the present world, or whatever you are seeing right now is because of the two world wars which happened, more or less. So please go through the world wars, please refer to different books, journals, archives, and try to understand about this world war. Thank you.